that person who cries at a commercial, who feels a stranger's bad mood the moment they walk into the room, who can't watch the news without carrying it for days, who loves so hard it sometimes breaks them. That person isn't too sensitive. And here's what nobody tells you. Their nervous system isn't malfunctioning. It's running at a frequency most people never reach.
Because according to psychology, feeling everything too deeply isn't a weakness. It's a specific neurological trait. And the people who have it don't just experience life more intensely, they process it differently at a level most brains simply aren't built for. Let's start with the science. In 1996, psychologist Elaine Aron identified what she called sensory processing sensitivity, a trait found in roughly 15 to 20% of the population. People with this trait, often called highly sensitive persons, don't just feel more. Their brains literally process information more deeply. More neural activity, more connections made, more meaning extracted from the same experience everyone else just walked past.
And here's where it gets interesting. Brain imaging studies show that highly sensitive people have significantly higher activation in areas linked to empathy, awareness, and emotional processing, particularly the insula, the part of the brain that registers what things feel like from the inside. When something happens to someone near them, their brain responds almost as if it's happening to them personally, not metaphorically, neurologically. They don't choose to feel it that way. Their brain is built to. But wait, it gets weirder because high sensitivity isn't the same as anxiety, introversion, or emotional fragility, though it often gets mistaken for all three. Research shows that highly sensitive people are equally distributed between introverts and extroverts. They feel deeply in crowds and in quiet rooms. The trait isn't about where they get their energy, it's about how thoroughly they process everything that reaches them. And what reaches them is a lot. Subtleties most people never notice. The slight tension in someone's voice, the shift in a room's energy, the thing that was almost said but wasn't. For a highly sensitive person, none of that disappears into background noise. All of it registers, all of it gets processed, all of it lands somewhere. But here's the thing nobody talks about. That depth of processing is genuinely exhausting. Not because sensitive people are weak, because they're doing significantly more cognitive and emotional work than the average brain in the exact same environment. A crowded event that drains them in 2 hours might barely register for someone else. It's not drama, it's a different energy equation. Now, here's the part that explains everything. Highly sensitive people don't just feel negative things more intensely. Research by Dr. Elaine Aron and others consistently shows they also experience beauty, joy, and connection more deeply than average. Music hits differently. Kindness lands harder. A good conversation can sustain them for days. The same nervous system that makes the world feel overwhelming also makes it feel extraordinary. The sensitivity isn't selective. It goes all the way through. Here's something that sounds contradictory. Studies show that highly sensitive people often make exceptional leaders, artists, counselors, and caregivers precisely because they notice what others miss. Their ability to read a room, anticipate needs, and understand nuance gives them a kind of social and emotional intelligence that is genuinely rare. The trait that makes them hard to be in the world with is also the trait that makes them irreplaceable in it. And let's be honest about the harder layer. Growing up feeling everything this intensely in families, schools, and cultures that reward toughness and punish emotion leaves a mark. Most highly sensitive people were told at some point that they were too much, too emotional, too reactive, too intense, and they believed it. They spent years trying to turn down a volume they were born with, trying to be someone whose nervous system asks less of the world. They couldn't do it because it's not a setting, it's a structure. But here's what's fascinating. Research shows that sensitivity is one of the strongest predictors of what psychologists call differential susceptibility. The idea that sensitive people are more affected by both negative and positive environments than others. A difficult childhood hits them harder, but a supportive one lifts them higher. They're not fragile, they're more responsive. There's a profound difference. The sensitivity that made their hardest seasons unbearable is the same sensitivity that makes their best moments transcendent. So what does all this mean? If you're someone who feels everything too deeply, you are not broken. You are not too much. You are running a more complex internal system in a world that was largely designed for a simpler one. That is genuinely hard. It asks more of you every single day.
But it also gives you something. The ability to love deeply, to notice what matters, to feel beauty where others walk past it, to stay present in a conversation in a way that makes people feel truly seen. Those things are not small. They are some of the most human things there are. And if you love a highly sensitive person, don't try to fix them. Don't ask them to feel less. Ask yourself what it would mean to be truly seen by someone whose whole nervous system is built for exactly that. Because the most sensitive person in your life isn't the most fragile one. They might be the most alive. If this finally gave you the words for something you've always known about yourself, subscribe! The next video is going to explore the kind of people who feel just as deeply, but show absolutely nothing. That one is going to be just as revealing. Click it!